the meeting to order. Have a roll call, please.
Kenny Geeser,
Here.
Marks,
Here.
Richard,
Here.
Jones,
Here.
Seaver. Here. Gray,
Here.
Shelby.
Here.
Item number 3, discuss possibly approve minutes of the May 28th, 2020 regular meeting.
Make a motion, we approve?
Second,
Motion made and seconded.
Who made the motion, I'm sorry. Okay.
Wayne did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I'm going to item number 4 right now. I'd like to introduce Alan Davis with the Able Commission, who's going to make a presentation on the new alcohol laws.
We put that on there so that, to educate everybody, and he's the expert on it, so he's the authority, so that's why I wanted to have that on there, so everybody can understand the laws and liabilities. So I'll let him speak. No?
All right, I think, I'll just start off, I think some of the things that was expressed to me, some concerns was, you know, who's responsible for outside alcohol at the golf course, so seems to be a concern that we had. Ultimately, the outside alcohol, any alcohol brought into the golf course that is not purchased by the golf course through their liquor license, that falls onto the golf course license. So whoever holds that license. So legally, it's a misdemeanor crime for them to allow outside alcohol onto that premise. The licensed premises, the golf course, is the entire golf course, all 18 holes. So including the store, the pro shop, and such. So that includes anything brought in, whether somebody buys a 6-pack at the store, brings it in and wants to put it on their cart and go golfing. They pour it into their own cup. They pour it into another, they have a flask, anything like that that is found on the golf course. And ultimately, they're responsible for that alcohol. And that's according to Title 37A 61054 of Oklahoma liquor laws. That's what says that they can't have any outside alcohol onto their premise. And so that's kind of the big one that I was told about, was that, worried about that, some questions about that, what can be brought in, what can't, and absolutely nothing that is not on their invoices that they bought from their wholesaler can be on that premise. Anything at all outside of that is a violation of Oklahoma state statutes. Able Commission has 2 ways that we deal with that. We deal with that administratively. We have our own administrative court system. So one thing that is nice for our license holders of liquor licenses, that we can process that administratively, not necessarily criminal the first time. Kind of helps them out a little bit. But that being said, multiple violations, if we're starting to get multiple complaints called in, we're receiving those things, then we deal with it criminally if we need to. So it goes 2 ways. The outcome of that, obviously, administratively, is that they can be fined substantially, and they can lose their liquor license. Once that's pulled, they're not getting it back typically for that person or that business. And then criminally, of course, it's a misdemeanor crime. I don't know exactly what it carries, but it is an issue. The golf course is responsible for everything that comes in and out, so they have to keep invoices on that. They have to keep track of it. They have to buy everything from a wholesaler. So, an Able agent by law is allowed to show up at any time that they're open for business and do a complete inspection. That includes going around on the course. That includes being inside their pro shop, taking their invoices, seeing if their invoices match the alcohol on hand or the alcohol that they've sold, and those type of things. I think that was the main thing that was progressed to me. Take questions if need. I don't know exactly. You need me to clarify further than that on the outside alcohol, but if there's any other.
So if somebody goes to the golf course and has alcohol, and they're in violation there, so who does it fall to? Does it go directly back to the golf course?
Golf course, the license.
And the person that is found with it, what is their?
There's no repercussions. There's no law against them. Personally, it all falls onto the license holder. So they're taking on a huge responsibility by wanting to have a liquor license out there to allow alcohol out there at all. So I was telling them earlier, if it was me, it would have to be worth a lot, very substantial amount to make me want to hold that license, because literally they got a huge amount of burden on their shoulders of trying to keep outside alcohol out and the alcohol they sell from leaving their premise. So they're twofold there. And I've spoke with them. They've been very good hey, how can we make this right? How can we be legal? How can we do everything right? And I think they're doing a great job. I think they are having some issues with people trying to come in, they're trying to stop that from happening. And my recommendation to the park board, to them as a business, is that if those folks don't wanna abide by those rules, that's gonna get them in legal trouble, that, I would ask them, hey, put that back in your car. They can do that. Hey, you can't have that here. If you wanna golf, you put it back in your car. You can buy any alcohol from the pro shop. And if they don't wanna do that, then they gotta go, if it was me. They have that right to do that. They can trespass somebody from out there if they don't wanna follow the rules. And I think they're trying to do everything 100% right, be 100% legal, and they are going about that very well. But, if they know that this person is the person that brings alcohol out there a lot and they get found with it out there, then, they'll be cited. So they're trying to avoid that, which I don't blame them.
Okay, well, I don't have an issue with any of that. I'm fine with that. But they've gone over to the fact you can't bring your Yeti with water in it. And so that's all I want, is to be able to bring my own water. They don't even have water on the course anymore and shouldn't, especially with the coronavirus going on.
That would be something that they had put into their policy and procedures, if they're trying to keep outside alcohol, people bringing it into their cups. I don't know what the solution for that is, but, that's on a,
Well, I don't think that people are bringing it in their cups. They're probably bringing it in their bags. I don't know.
I don't know if they are or not.
That's, I can govern all that, but.
I don't know why they banned those cups. I understand possibly, I wasn't here during that maybe they was worried somebody was gonna bring alcohol in their cups, that they would,
Well, every
go
other
by
golf course
invitations.
I go to, you can bring your own
right.
drink.
Same rules apply to them. If they wanna take that responsibility on their shoulders, then the golf course is taking it on their shoulders. If they get caught with it, they get the same ramifications.
Well,
But-
If they come and look at my Yeti cup, it's got water in it, so that doesn't make them liable.
That would be something that they need to put on their, that'd be up to them to make their policies. That's not a policy of the Able Commission.
So it's just a course rule. And that needs.
The Yeti cup in general, outside cups, whether it be a styrofoam cup, a Yeti cup, or whatever, that is not an Able Commission rule. That is not a state law that says you can't have that, to my knowledge. However, it is something that they're taking on, that they have to look at what rules are we gonna make to make sure that we don't get in a bind with the legal bind, with somebody bringing outside alcohol in, so,
So if it's not to their knowledge, they're still responsible.
yes.
Well, that possibly be right.
But there's no alcohol in it.
And there's no alcohol.
Well, then come taste it.
Wait a second here. This is always a good point in the discussion we had. You guys, if you'll direct your questions to the board, we do have some experts here, but this gentleman with the Able Commission is really not engaged or involved in what you all are talking about.
I don't know about those problems.
He asked for questions.
Yeah, they were related to alcohol. And I don't think what the issue that you all are talking about is necessarily alcohol related. It's more about the Yeti cups and bring stuff. So that's something we need to address as a board. Just trying to clarify. I don't know I know little about the Able Commission, but I'm guessing that part of this, way this is set up, is they want to ensure that the state collects all the taxes due them
Absolutely.
from alcohol sales, and
And they keep track of where it comes from, how it comes, how it goes, and what's served.
yeah, you don't want somebody out there running a moonshine still and brewing beer and selling it on the course, and the state doesn't collect their taxes.
Right. No different than any other business. If you own a bar and you sell
Yeah.
alcohol, you don't want somebody bringing their own six-pack in from the Conoco to drink it in your bar,
Yeah.
That's how you make money. Same thing with these folks having a pro shop that serves alcohol. They make a portion of their funds off selling that. So, nobody's gonna want that outside alcohol coming in when they have a business, try to make a living from the selling.
And we agree with that 100%.
Your Yeti cup, that's above my pay grade, that's not an Able Commission rule, that's something that the park board or whoever is in charge of the golf course, that's their policy, that's
Okay,
nothing illegal on my part.
This is not your issue, and you are not our issue. I mean, we're for you.
I understand, I think there were some concerns about, illegal alcohol being brought in, their own six-pack or their own beer to be brought in to drink on the course.
I know, like, there are people who do that, but it seems like you're, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but that's just my opinion. And, you really need water on the course at this time of year especially, and
Well, maybe we can bring that up and discuss that during that,
Right,
that part of the business.
okay.
What you did clarify for us was even if Dennis or his staff had done all they could do to verify these people don't have alcohol, but somebody had a hidden pocket on their bag and they were sneaking alcohol on the course, right by all of their inspections, and an Able Commission did an inspection that day and found it, that responsibility for them sneaking it falls back to Dennis
Right,
or whoever, yeah.
yeah, whoever the
Pro
license
shop,
holder is.
they're the ones that made the violation
Even if they didn't know it was there.
If they didn't know it was there.
and tried to police it and it, you know,
Yes.
people.
We will obviously
Citizens-
look at those situations and say, hey, you know, was it something that was snuck in, or is it blatant? But, you know, we have officer discretion in making those rulings, just like you do on any other thing that a police officer does. But, you know, for the most part, ultimately it falls on their head. They're taking a huge responsibility by having that, license and trying to keep the outside alcohol out.
I think that's called the one throat to choke rule.
Mhm.
Gotta have somebody you can hold accountable.
And a golf course is so unique in the world of alcohol sales, and I can't think of another entity where you have a substantial number of patrons that would like to use it, consume it, but you also can't police all the hundreds of acres out there all the time.
Right,
And at the same time, it's hot out there, and people.
it's one of the
uh,
hardest things that we license and police
So we can understand where you're all coming from as well, that you wanna get water out there, you're not trying to drink beer or liquor or whatever, but it is hot enough, and so it does pose a challenge, coming up with a good solution.
right.
Well, it seems to me that we don't have, this is the way it works. The Able Commission's gonna hold whoever the vendor is that's selling it. And for all the other golfers out there, the worst thing that could happen for those people that do drink alcohol on the course is for the course to lose its ability to sell alcohol.
Mhm.
And so it behooves everybody that's members and drinks alcohol out there to follow the rules, or the rule will be there is no alcohol.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we should get the support of the patrons that, you know, are trying to follow the rules. I don't think it's gonna be,
Well, Alan,
It was short and sweet, but I think that was the main thing I
I
was
appreciate
told
it,
about.
because everybody needed to know where the buck stops.
Right,
And anything else that relates, you know, on sides of that is gonna be between the park board and
correct.
the golf course and the members. But I really appreciate you coming and telling us. Anybody have any other questions as it relates to the
Legalities.
the liquor license and how it's handled and who's responsible or about that? Alan, I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for,
you.
thanks.
thank you very much for taking your time.
I'll go back to item number 2, petitions from the audience, now that we've heard what Alan had to say.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than it just
Ma'am,
seems, yeah,
could you go to the microphone,
sure.
and state your name, please? I appreciate that.
My name is Pat Lane, and all I want is to have some water. And there's not water on the course, and like I say, right now, there certainly shouldn't be. And and you have to have a lot of water right now, and it's really important. And so, I mean, I know all that stuff that he told, and I appreciate that. I appreciate their situation, but it seems to me like, I mean, I'll sign something that, if that's what they want. But I haven't even been playing out there because you can't bring your own water. So that's pretty much it.
Okay,
And, okay, that's enough.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm good. That's it. The end.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
Anything else? Any other petition? Anybody else? All right, I appreciate that.
We've got,
No, I just,
Yeah,
it's a public course, is that correct?
yes.
And so the public wants Yetis. Is that correct? I mean, most of the public wants Yetis, so I just don't understand if you know, if we need to sign a slip of paper saying that we only have water in our Yetis, I'll be happy to do that. But it's a public course and the public wants Yetis. Just that simple.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, well, this is something we'll have to bring up in with the whole board and with or with the license holders and everything. We'll decide if we're gonna change anything we're doing now, so, appreciate that.
I could say one more thing. You know, we brought this up before, and then nothing happened. Nobody ever did anything, so, like I say, we've been here before, so.
So is there water available to purchase?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
and coolers. We provide coolers that are purchased with ice.
And that's just one more thing that we just need a few more plastic bottles floating around in this world.
So we do sell bottled water out there. We provide coolers with ice for the patrons to do it. And then I think we do it at a price that is less than you can go out here to our local ball fields. Right? It's $1.25 at our local ball fields if you wanna go buy a bottle of water there. We sell them for $1, including the tax. And we provide coolers and ice for them, so. That answer your question?
Thank you.
You have to do at least 4 or 5 bottles per round ball, so that's another $4 or $5 every time you play.
Well, and the ice situation, I don't know how they do their ice, but that's a little uncomfortable too.
Frank's not here, we'll go to item number 6, golf course report. Dennis?
One of the things that we fight on a weekly basis is people bringing alcohol onto the golf course. It's a weekly fight, all right? It is not a day, I mean, it's not a once-a-month type deal. We keep a list of people that have brought it on. We have video cameras. We can show people have brought this stuff on. So it is, you know, it is a constant battle. One of the things that I told the park board, I told the council when we voted to have alcohol out there, is that I'd go by the laws 100%. I do not want on my conscience somebody bringing beer in their Yeti cup like Pat has right there, leaving the premises and killing one of my grandchilds or one of yours. That's the last thing that I would want to ever happen out there at the golf course. DUIs happen all the time. People drive and kill people all the time. We're gonna do everything possible so that does not happen. I'm by the book on it. I'll always be by the book on it. You cannot take your Yeti cup, Pat cannot take that Yeti cup and go in the BOK Center. There's a lot of restaurants, she cannot take that. Why? That's my question, why? Why do they do that, right? For their own protection. So, in my conscience, we're gonna do everything to stop people from bringing liquor on or leaving intoxicated. And the only way we can do that is by policing it. We've done all the signage. The signage doesn't stop people from bringing it on. I know people that have read the signs and bring it on anyway. I've got video proof of that. And I'd be glad to show it to anybody if somebody wants to see the video. It's pretty incriminating. So, anyway, any questions on alcohol at the golf course?
Is there a solution?
The solution is for us, for me, my solution is for me to police it in good faith where I can go home and sleep at night.
I mean, besides what you do, because I know you do a good job out there, nothing but the best, but I understand their, you know, their issues in wanting to bring their Yeti cups. Is there anything that the golf course could do as far as either purchasing a style of cup or some type of, you know, something for them to hold more water and purchase it at the golf course or do it at a discounted rate? Or if they wanna bring something and leave it there, and whenever they're there, they can use it, leave it there when they leave, or is that
You know-
something that's doable?
When you start bringing and leaving stuff, then you start talking about cleanliness and a whole bunch of stuff like that, so that,
Sure, I
the problem that, you know, when we run 125, 150 patrons through the golf course a day, how do you police? All right, got 125 Yetis coming out here today, how can I police that?
understand.
So that is, you know, very,
I mean, that's what I'm just saying, is there
Yeah.
a solution at all, or is?
I don't know of one yet, I have not found of one yet. When you look at people that police it really tight, like the BOK Center, Donna comes in there with that purse, they're gonna search your purse.
Sure.
Right? Can I search every bag? I don't know. There's times that I have asked guys, can I search your bag? And they said yes, and they had beer in it. They knew that they was getting caught. They probably didn't know I was gonna come to them
Sure.
on that. So, you know, how you police it and keep everybody happy, I don't know.
Did we-
But I do know one thing, as I police it out there on the golf course, about 97% of the people totally understand, right? So there's a few people that
Sure.
don't, and, you know, but again, their name's not on that license, they're not having to worry about people bringing beer out and leaving, and, so we try, that's what we try to provide is, okay, our best alternative solution right now is we got inexpensive water, we got coolers, load you up and go. I have bought bigger sizes of water, and we've done that before, so that for people like may want 4 or 5 waters, and they'll buy a bigger one for not much more money, you know, so.
I understand completely your plot that you've, that you're in, it's just, I don't, unless you put a cooler on every one, and they're not gonna drink out of them anyway, I don't believe.
Right.
So, on every cart, I guess, but I don't think there's a winning solution to it unless you give away free water.
Yeah, it sounds like at $1 a bottle, you're trying to be very reasonable with them.
Oh, we are. When you go to other golf courses and their prices are a lot higher than ours. So, I mean, it's not.
It's not, this isn't price gouging, this isn't greed, this is
No,
trying to police the situation.
Right.
Yeah. And I've been golfing for over 20 years, I know it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's
And in
common,
this-
it's incredibly common for people to sneak alcohol on the course, so.
yeah. And I don't understand, so, kind of a little bit like what Chris talked about, I think it's important for everybody to be educated on it. And then, you know, that's why we have the rules out there on the golf course, and we want everybody to abide by them. So, anybody have any other questions on that? I just got back from a much-needed vacation. Took the family, went for a 5-day vacation there, so had a great time. It was sure good to get away. I spent a lot of hours at that golf course. It's crazy how many hours I've spent there. She can tell you, she knows. But, so anyway, as far as, it was good to come back. It's great to see all the compliments we're getting on the golf course. I mean, people come up to me every day, oh, the golf course is looking so nice. And, you know, it's due to a whole conglomerate of things. One starts out, you know, we got some great equipment out there, the spraying, you know, I don't know if you ever watched Marcus Lemonis, but I believe in what he says, it's your people, your procedures, and your product. And so I think we're doing really good on all of those things. Having the equipment to do the job with is huge. It just allows us to do a higher quality job at a much easier pace. So the golf course is looking great. We're excited about that. So it's going, each week it's just going to keep getting better as the Bermuda grass continues to grow. So and all that, you know, like I said, it comes with there's a whole host of people that have helped us on that golf course. So we have, you know, lots of small projects going on that we're trying to work on. It's a busy time of the year, but we have a lot of little projects we're trying to fix. We're still working on, we've got supplies and materials for the restroom out on hole 15, the 6x6 posts that hold the awning on, we've got to replace those. There's lots of little stuff out there that golf course needs that takes a lot of time, so, but we're slowly knocking them out. Irrigation system, you know, with the weather we've had, the golf has been great. It's really nice every day, you know, we're doing $800,000-900,000 worth of rental carts. Can't have those on rainy days. I can irrigate the golf course, so if it don't rain, I'm happy. So, couple of things I want to keep in front of the board is our capital improvement list. We've knocked out some things on this list, so
Thanks.
may not have printed enough of them, but might have to have a few more copies. But anyway, on the capital improvement list, you know, we've done a lot in the last year. It's taken a lot of manpower to do that, and well, but we're tickled to death. You know, our irrigation system is really doing great. We did have one pump motor go out, so we have 3 big pumps, and so when one goes out, we don't know why. It's got brand new wires, brand new motors, so, but electrical things happen, so we'll be getting that fixed hopefully pretty quick. But that might be a pretty good project to fix that one motor. But the irrigation system's doing real good. We really cranked it up last week. So we're excited to be able to use it, and we've got, there's a lot of things on that list that you'll see. You know, we're still needing, you know, one of the biggest things to keep in front of everybody is our maintenance building. Thank you, Mayor. Is our maintenance building. You know, we need to, I need you to keep pushing that to the council, and hopefully we want to keep that on their top of their radar so that we get that maintenance building going. I know that they got the police and fire station and all that going, but it's gonna be really tough to go through another winter with that building and the way the roof leaks and everything, so we've made do, but if we have to keep making do, we will. But of course, the roof on the house roof is in bad needs, and I've been in contact with the mayor, and we've had meetings over this, and so he's all this stuff's on his radar. The golf carts, you know, our golf carts are 7 years old. They're one of our huge revenue makers. So can they go another season? I hate to see them go another season because we're always having to go out and pick one up because of a starter, a belt, you know, just so many little things when equipment gets that old. And that's rough on our customers. That really affects the customers directly. So hopefully we can figure out ways to do some golf carts for the spring of 2021, hopefully around March. Now, that being said, all that has to take place very early. Golf carts would have to be ordered sometime in September, maybe October at the first, in order to get them by March. You know, everybody's running behind, so we have to really plan ahead because it's not like you can pick up the phone and have them here in 30 days. So,
Dennis, what's that process? I wasn't on the board the last time you replaced or upgraded your cart inventory. What is that process? Do you need a green light from us, or do you just more or less pull the trigger when those are worn out and replace them? I know that's done on typically an annual lease, about 4 years of payments or so, and then hopefully you get 2 to 3 years after that's over.
right. No, we bring it to the board to get the ball rolling, to go out for quotes and the bids, to have them bid out. And there's multiple ways of financing that. So it'll come to the board, say, time to do golf carts. And how we finance it, that's the mayor's strength. I'll let him speak on that.
If it's something that you need a seek bids, it sounds like maybe on our next agenda, we need to be considering going out for bids to get that time to develop.
So one of the things that I asked Dennis to do was contact the golf cart manufacturers. We've gotten response back from one of those manufacturers. And what this is, it's a price for purchase, it's a price, several different prices for lease. So that process is in play. I might say that there is a market for the pre-owned golf carts, as long as they're not just flat, smooth, wore out. And so the timing, I believe that the timing is good right now because there is some residual value from those golf carts because they've been taken care of well, and they're just not all wore out. But they will be in a short amount of time because they're not made to last for a really long time. So anyway, we do have those things in play. We're getting quotes. So we've gotten one quote. I don't think we've gotten the other two.
Easy Go's supposed to be getting with me, and the other one probably will not be done because
They're way high. Okay. So anyway.
We're not gonna probably buy the most expensive cart.
So this is budget time, so that's one of the components for the golf course that I'm trying to work into that mix. So that'll be coming up here pretty quick over the next month.
Thank you, Mayor.
So, but that's why I want to keep this in front of y'all, so all the needs that the golf course has in the future, we need to all be aware of that so we can all plan and have the best plan for whatever we need.
Dennis, can I ask a question on, this particular part of it represents the capital, right? These are capital improvements you're saying.
Yes.
You were talking about going before the city council. If I was on the city council, something that I think I would want to know from this board is, do you feel like our revenue stream today can cover our operating expenses? Not our capital, but our operating expenses.
It's real close. When you look back, when you look at projections, there's no way to project COVID-19.
Yeah.
In April, we lost $35,000 in April. So you can project, and things are really good right now at the golf course. I mean, our June has been a great month for us, and I'm projecting it to be a very good month. So, and it ends our fiscal year. So the golf business, projecting, you got to be really conservative because so many things pop up. It's really close on that, being able to just break even on operating expenses.
So that tells me that all the capital would have to come out of funds other than the golf course.
Correct.
So if I was on the city council, what I think I would want to know is, it would probably be a good time, I think from the board, it would help us if we had and you would be the one to put together a 5-year plan.
Right.
That says, here's what I anticipate revenues and operating expenses, and it's just a guess, but here's what we expect them to be over the next 5 years, and are we gonna have a surplus or a shortfall? And then, looking at the useful life of your equipment stuff, put together a 5-year capital improvement plan. And then I would know as a council person to say, okay, the golf course is gonna come to me for, just using this number, $1 million over the next 5 years. So we need to be prepared to put this in the budget and understand where it's coming from so that we're not dealing with it every month. And it's like, okay, explain to them every month why we need this much money. Right. So it seems like now to me, and I throw this before the board, something we can put on an agenda later, is putting together a 5-year plan of operating expenses, revenues, operating expenses, and capital that we're gonna need. And kind of maybe including that capital for these assets, what useful life you anticipate remaining useful life, and what the useful life is at purchase, so we know.
Right.
So,
And that would be pretty easy to kind of take
Yeah.
this information, just convert it to the yearly plan for next 5 years.
yeah, and say we're gonna need
Right.
250,000 next year, 300,000 whatever the next, and
Right.
give everybody a heads up.
Can sure do that. So, and here's just kind of where we're at. These are my numbers, I keep in mind, I get most of them from the city, but from kind of where we're at.
Yeah, your April numbers look like something unusual might have happened there, huh? Nice rebound in May, though.
Yeah, that's memberships.
Yeah.
A lot of memberships. May and June has the memberships. Usually, a lot of times it's in April and May we have the gym memberships, but because of the COVID, it kind of. And there's a possibility we can even do better in June than I have projected. So, but we have 10, 11 days here left. So, but that kind of.
Yeah,
You
Good
know, and
information.
like I said, usually April can be a $35,000 to $40,000 month, so you can see where we're quite a bit off there. So,
now does this, no, this doesn't include, because we're not painting a cart. You typically put the cart payments in the operating expense when we have them. You have in the past,
yeah.
because you
it's-
pay them
right.
off, okay.
Yeah, we just know that in the past, there's a $40,000 payment gonna come out of that. And we're, when
But there's nothing in this budget now, these operating expenses, carts aren't in there because we're not paying.
On that,
Okay,
yeah, on that 369, now, we have a little bit of money in there for repairs is all.
okay.
For the cart repairs. So that kind of, most of that's kind of self-explanatory there, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully we may be under that 369 budget too. Anybody have any questions on that part?
Well, I don't have a question about what you're saying, but I'll put the mayor on the spot and just wondering, we had that great vision about maybe getting some tax money for the golf course.
There's not currently any tax money that is specifically earmarked for the golf course. So we're all aware of that. Had some discussion with Rec Center last year, or earlier, I guess, in the fiscal year, about perhaps reapportioning a portion of sales tax from the Rec Center over and using it for the golf course. That would be a vote of the people to do that. So there was good discussion at the Rec Center board that night about that, and the Rec Center has started to use some of their reserves, and I'm really encouraged about that. So at this time, I don't have any plans necessarily to try to generate sales tax revenue for the golf course. So that would be a vote of the people to do that. And at this time, I don't have plans to push that. I do, though, have plans to continue to fund the golf course appropriately. So, for instance, the $450,000 that's on that
Maintenance building?
For the building, maintenance building?
that's on that building, that's an item that's identified on our bond.
Yeah.
That's identified on our bond. So perhaps that has already been funded. It just has not been, we've just not decided to send that money to do that yet. So we're waiting on final numbers on the police and fire and the library to see what monies perhaps might be left. So I anticipate for us to continue to choose to fund the golf course as we have need to fund the golf course. And also try to place the golf course in a position to generate as much revenue as they can. So that's what the plan is. They may break even. We hope we do a little better than that. My hat's off to Dennis and his staff for containing expenses. So when, when we do look at his numbers, when I look at the numbers on my reports, you know, I see him doing a lot to contain expenses. So did I answer your question
For now, yes.
for now?
Yeah, appreciate it.
Are there any other questions about that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for me on that? So, we just had an event, at the golf course, a week ago, where we had a bunch of guys from Muskogee come up and play, and they had a great time. So, Muskogee, I don't know if you're familiar with the golf in Muskogee, but they have a country club there, and then they have a public course, and, the public course is not doing very well there. It's privately owned, but, the condition of it's bad, so we have a good market there to bring people up here, and then, you know, Coetta's closed, their golf course closed, so our market is growing, and that's some of the things that we're wanting to do is, I brought a bunch of the promotional material, if anybody wants it, that we've just had printed up, and we're gonna, get on a campaign and get that all distributed out and try to bring in some of these people, and of course, you know, word of mouth that they have going back to Muskogee, they'll tell all their friends how the golf course is in really good shape, they enjoyed their time up here, so, those are the kind of things we're doing. I've got, this one tournament coming up pretty quick. We've been trying to advertise it, and, so, it's to send a bunch of the veterans
Thank you.
on a freedom tour up to the White House. So, if anybody, would like to, participate, we've extended the deadline, so we got a few teams getting in it, but, not near where we wanna be, so, hopefully we're gonna try to push hard this week a lot of people wait to the last minute to get into golf tournaments. So hopefully we're gonna push real hard and get quite a few more teams and have a successful event and, raise some money to send some of these, veterans, to Washington DC. So, and another tournament's our ninth tournament. It's been an annual tournament that we have. It's the 11th year of it. So, it will fill up. You know, we're doing 18 teams, so it will fill up pretty fast. So, you know, if anybody wants to play in it, please get them signed up, because that will fill up. And it's a fun event, and, we got some good procedures that we've already talked about and discussed, try to keep everybody safe on that, so. All right. That's our upcoming events. Does anybody have any questions?
Number 8 green's still doing pretty good.
Yes, it's doing real good. It's doing great. That grass is really good, so a lot of great compliments on that. It's got a few little spots on it where the mower scalps, but we'll get those patched up and healed in. So.
Actually, I heard a guy from Claremore had come over and play, and he was talking about how well that green looked and said it was amazing.
Yeah, great.
The course looked really good. I guess Claremore's course is having some issues right now, or doing a rebuild, or.
They're rebuilding their greens, so I know their county and city went together, put money into their golf course, and so that's kind of our competition. And so, but that's what, they're in the same boat we're in. You know, they don't have enough revenue to do any improvements, so, but that's the way Owasso, Bailey Ranch is, they're in the same boat. You know, their golf course gets subsidized $200,000 to $400,000 a year. So, but they understand the asset and they're taking care of it, and it brings in a lot of people. But yeah, Claremore's putting Bermuda grass greens in. We have bent grass greens. It's a cool season grass, so they're putting Bermuda grass greens in, and so maybe a good thing for them. I hope it is. So
There was a lot of good compliments from them. They said that they had been over our place several times and was
Good.
very happy with it.
good. That's great
Staff
to
was
hear.
friendly, and they really enjoyed playing. That's good.
That's awesome, I appreciate that, and I like to pass those comments on to our staff, because they're out there doing all that hard work, they need to hear those things. That's all I have. Anybody have anything else for me?
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Discussion possible action regarding removing the restrictions of one person per cart and resuming 2 persons per cart at the Prior Creek Golf Course.
Most area golf courses I contacted, I had them put this on there because they're all going back to 2 riders per cart. And if you wanna ride single, you can do that, you just pay the full price of the cart. So our carts are $14.50, so if you wanna ride single, right now it's still $14.50. But we go through a lot of carts. And, but the area golf courses, Bailey Ranch, have went to 2 riders per cart. If you wanna ride single, they'd let you do that if they have enough carts, but you pay the full, their price is $30. So if you're a member or something, you'd pay $30 to ride the cart by yourself. Forest Ridge is, going to it at, maybe they've already went to it.
They went to it.
Yeah, they've
About a
already
week
went to
ago.
it, so you have to ride double. Battle Creek,
Battle Creek's either.
Yeah.
they're still either at the end of the month, they're going, to it. So you have your choice still right now with them, so, you know,
And same way as Shangri-La. Shangri-La's, you get your choice.
get your choice, yeah. So that's something that I wanted to bring to the board, let y'all make a decision on what y'all think is good.
You looking to allow them to choose at this point, so that if they wanna ride single, they can pay? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, if they want to ride single, they can just pay for the full cart fee and ride double, so if they don't.
Mayor, what is the, update from the CDC, or from the governor's office? I know that they said July 1st, we're gonna start allowing people back into nursing homes and stuff, correct? Or limited access or something?
That's what we hear, that's what we hear, that CDC is doing that. We find all over the country, not just in Oklahoma, we find all over the country where all of those stipulations are changing. And so on golf courses, in sporting events, sporting venues, always encouraging physical distancing and sanitation, always encouraging those things. And so the personal responsibility is what I'm promoting with our citizens and with our boards, with our golf course, is promoting the personal responsibility.
Well, I can tell you from experience, where I hit the ball, I'm not around anybody.
So physical distancing is no problem for you.
Not a problem for me.
But
With the rise that's going on in Mays County, I know that we've had, everybody knew that was gonna happen throughout the United States anyway. I didn't know if,
So the difference now is that our medical institutions and also our culture is now able to provide masks, because they will provide the PPE, and so everybody we would be ready for some kind of a drastic outbreak if it did happen. If it should happen. Before, nobody was prepared for it. So we don't want to encourage outbreak.
no.
Absolutely, we don't want to encourage outbreak. But we don't want to go hide in a hole either.
Yeah.
So
So do we need a motion to,
Yes.
then I make a motion that we go ahead.
Motion's been made that we go back to 2 persons per cart, effective immediately.
I'll second it.
Second, motion been made and seconded. Discussion?
Just one quick clarification here, and I know, but just so the public knows, if they read the notes. We don't require anybody to ride 2 to a cart. That's a personal choice if they choose to ride with somebody.
right.
So everybody has the option of riding on a cart by themselves. They just gotta pay the bill for the cart.
Right.
So, just make sure in case somebody steps forward and says, well, the golf course is now forcing us to ride.
No.
We don't do that.
No, we're not gonna force nobody to ride, you just pay the cart fee. And And a long time ago, that's the way it used to be. You paid, you want to ride by yourself, you paid the full cart fee.
Yeah,
That's the way it was always, and then things get changed over the years to single riders, cause you have the threesome, and they have to divide it up amongst two carts, divided by 3 people, or, you know,
So,
5 carts divided by 5 people.
so that's a good question. Let's say 3 people come, and 2 are gonna be in a cot, and 1 is gonna be by himself. They still have to pay the full, like, what would that be, $29?
Now, we've always been single, cart fee per person,
Right,
what we always have been, $14.50 per person.
per person.
Unless, like, for example, say a couple comes out there, and you have only 2 men are playing golf, but you have a couple, so now there's an extra cart needed, where, before the COVID stuff happened, right, you'd send out 1 cart for the 2 men to play golf. But since there's a couple, the spouse is with somebody, then it takes an extra cart, so we always charge an extra fee for that. Because the golf course could get by with renting 1 golf cart for 2 golfers to go play. Now they're taking 2 carts, twice the gas, twice the usage. And that's what we're faced with right now. I mean, we go through a lot of golf carts. And what's funny is, when you watch people, you got 2 people drive up in the same car, but they want to take separate carts because it's just a lot easier,
what about the old thing, since you brought that up about, used to be that when you went out to play, the golf pro may put you in a group. If there's a few singles and say, do you guys mind playing together?
Yeah.
Do we still do that, or can people choose to play, get their own tee time and play by themselves, or are we still putting them in groups?
Our tee sheet, most people play in groups anyway,
Yeah.
and if somebody, if we are, like, for example, a tee sheet has a slot of for 4 people, and 2 people book it, and then sometimes, you go online, you book the other 2 slots, then they get there, say, okay, both of y'all have the 8:15 tee time, and then, if they find going together, we'd let them go together. If one of them says, hey, I don't wanna play with nobody else, okay, you go right behind them, and our tee
Okay.
times are spaced far enough apart that we can accommodate those people when they do not wanna play together.
So just to be clear then, so if I show up, there's 2 people have a tee time and I show up, or you try to put Typhoid Mary with me, I may say,
Yeah.
hey, I don't wanna play with this person,
Right.
I don't have to, I can go ahead.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but just as long as we understand, people understand that,
Yeah.
that they can play, if they've got a tee time, they can play, they won't be forced to play with somebody they don't want to.
Right,
But they may, if they don't have a tee time, they may wait for a while
exactly.
to get on the course.
Right.
Okay. Well, I think those things may sound insignificant, but if we get challenged with them,
Oh,
that can be an issue with people saying, you forced me, it wasn't a personal choice, you forced me down the path.
No, yeah, we give them the choice.
Okay.
And we face that every weekend, people booking tee times, and, you got one guy books 3 and then a single, because now you can book on the app. And if you book as a single on the app, you're only looking for 1 spot, and you could have the same tee time. And sometimes they don't wanna play together, sometimes they do. So we just give
Sounds
them a
like there's some
choice.
variations, but it doesn't sound like you're running into any problems out there.
No,
Things running
we-
smooth.
yeah, we let people make their own choice on that.
Any other discussion? Okay, the motion's been made and seconded that we go back to the 1 person, or go back to two persons per cart. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 8, action items, FEMA claims. Nothing new?
We're still in line. They told us that, we're gonna be reimbursed, fully for all those claims, and, I'm looking.
Yeah, it's same report I got from Johnny Jensen, so the things are looking good, just getting through this process.
Any other action items?
I think, the number, I think Johnny might have said to me, don't quote me, but it's like $140,000 on that first deal at the golf course.
Yeah.
City would get reimbursed for.
Awesome.
Item number 9, unforeseeable business.
Can we, go back to the park report? Or maybe this will be unforeseeable business. I wanna show y'all a picture.
What?
I wanna show you a picture. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so, I'm friends with this girl on Facebook, and she graduated 10 years ago in 2009 from Pryor. And she lives in Broken Arrow. She has 4 small children, and 2 of them, I believe, have disabilities. Anyway, she comes back here to play at Whitaker Park. And I have a picture that is that she put on her Facebook, I stole or copied. And it's just the most precious picture that you'll ever see. And it encouraged me to think, as we go forward and adding equipment to the park, we need more disabled, adaptive type play, because this, and I don't know if you guys know what this is, but there's an odd looking swing on the swing set. And what that is, so the parent can swing with the child. And that's what she's doing. And this little girl has cerebral palsy, so she's not able to grip or hold on by herself. But just the sheer look on the mother and the daughter's face. And I thought, how nice when we're adding equipment. If we don't just say, well, this picnic table you can, scoot a wheelchair up to. Maybe add some more adaptive type equipment like this. I think there's a real need. A real need. Isn't that precious?
Sounds like they're driving quite a ways to have that.
They
I guess
are.
They don't have that at
Yes.
their local parks there.
I made you a copy.
Just to swing together. Oh, but I think it's just precious. Yes, you'll have to give Terry one. But you can just see the look on her face to be able to swing and how safe she feels, and the look on the mother's face.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, yeah, so Frank has done such a good job, and I feel like, the splash pad, just to see the interaction between the families and their children, and I just think that's been such a good investment.
Yeah.
We tried out the splash pad last a week or so ago, and I said, our new little snail thing, my grandkids loved it, but everybody loves that little snail. He has been the hit. There was a problem with the new turtle, and I texted Frank this week, and he went out and said I said, I don't think it's working like we think. The water was just kind of pouring out one end of it, but he said somebody had jammed a stick up in there. Anyway, he said everything's back to working great. But.
Well, it seems to be enjoyed by all. The changing station, who would have thought?
I know, it's right there, it's great.
It is.
The only thing that, I was there with my little one, it's been a couple of weeks ago, and some of the bigger boys are climbing on some of those, which I don't believe they're supposed to.
One of it's a splash pad?
Yeah, at the splash pad. And, I said something, I don't think you're supposed to be, climbing on those. Oh, really? You're always gonna get a little pushback, but, I said something to Frank, he said, well, say something to them, and if they don't, just say, okay, we're gonna call the police. Which you don't really wanna have to do, but I'm not sure how to problem solve that one. Maybe a sign or something, but. My concern is that they're gonna fall off of it too, because, they climb up on those really tall ones, and I'm thinking they're gonna fall, so,
Probably just do it once,
yeah,
maybe. But anyway, Frank does a good job
yeah, and,
with the park.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yep, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Pretty neat.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion's been made,
Second.
seconded, all in favor?
All right,
Motion. Thank you, everybody.
yeah, that was good and quick.
See you next